All of the videos this week are focusing on the horrors of social media. You probably noticed already though, maybe. And of course, when we are talking about depraved social media, we have to talk about TikTok. Because for me, and for you, at least judging by your comments, TikTok holds a special place in our hearts. The hate-filled, burning, smouldering cesspit part. So I am bringing you 5 brand new and highly disturbing cases and stories, all centered around TikTok and TikTokers. Watch out too, because at the end there's a little bonus from the Dark Case archives. The law of averages says you've never seen it before too. So let's dive right in. Love ya.
Yo, this building is on fire. I'm at work. Somebody send help. We're at South Park. Help!
On the morning of May 18th, 2023, DeMonte Tyree Sherrill arrived at an unfinished apartment complex in Charlotte, North Carolina, for only his 3rd day on the job. The 30-year-old father of 4 was fitting windows alongside Reuben Holmes, a construction worker from Alabama. At around 9 a.m., a fire began inside a spray foam insulation trailer on the ground floor. The building was still under construction, filled with exposed timber and incomplete safety systems. Once the flames reached the structure, they spread with extraordinary speed. More than 100 workers began escaping, but DeMonte and Reuben were trapped several floors above the fire. Reuben called his supervisor and told him the building was burning, and they could not find a way out. DeMonte then started live streaming. Holding material over his mouth, he calmly explained that he was at work in South Park and trapped inside with another man.
Yo, I'm at South Park right now. At work, the building on fire, and I can't get out. It's getting harder and harder for them to see us. We're gonna have to stand out here, man, so to see. The building on fire, I'm trapped inside, me and my man. Ah! Help! Ah! Yo, this building is on fire. I'm at work. Somebody send help. We're at South Park.
Smoke was gathering behind them. As visibility worsened, his voice changed. He began shouting for help, repeating their location in the hope that somebody watching could guide rescuers towards them. Members of DeMonte's family saw the broadcast as it happened. His fiancée was also speaking to him by phone while the building filled with smoke. Outside, firefighters had arrived within minutes. More than 90 responders entered a structure, producing intense heat and almost no visibility. A rescue team searching for the men became trapped on the same floor and was forced to issue a mayday before withdrawing. A crane operator also spotted DeMonte and Reuben near a balcony. Workers swung a basket towards them, but thick black smoke erased the view. The operator could no longer see where the men were standing. 15 people were rescued, including the crane operator, who remained suspended above the fire for nearly an hour. DeMonte and Reuben did not make it out. The live stream lasted roughly 1 minute, but it captured the speed with which an ordinary working morning became an impossible emergency. DeMonte had gone to the site to provide for his children, aged 13, 12, 10, and 5. Instead, his final public message became a direct plea from inside one of the largest fires Charlotte had seen in decades. The families later filed a wrongful death lawsuit, alleging serious failures in fire planning, emergency preparation, and access to working water systems. The companies disputed no specific allegation publicly, saying only that the complaint was under review. A GoFundMe that was started to support his widowed family reached just $8,000 of its $20,000 target. Before his name became attached to the insanity I am about to share with you, Terrian Thomas was known online as Mr. Prada, a TikTok creator followed by millions. He became popular through short comedy videos about school, relationships, and internet trends. He was also accused of recreating other TikTokers' clips, almost shot for shot. Rather than retreating when people complained, Thomas turned the criticism into part of his persona. TikTok users jokingly called themselves Mr. Prada victims whenever he interacted with their content. During 2024, however, some followers noticed a change. Thomas shaved his head and eyebrows, posted about loneliness, and announced that he was no longer Prada. Those videos attracted concern, but they offered no clear explanation for what followed.
Yeah, I think I might regret this, but I'm finna cut my hair off. How will I look bald? What the I don't know.
William Nicholas Abraham, or Nick, was recorded entering Thomas's apartment complex. Investigators say he was wearing the same clothes that he was later found in. The following morning, a passerby discovered Abraham beside a Louisiana highway, wrapped inside a blue tarpaulin. Authorities said his time on this earth had ended following extensive blunt force injuries to his head, neck, and shoulders. Attention quickly shifted back to the apartment building. Witnesses allegedly saw Thomas struggling to drag a large object wrapped in blue material downstairs before loading it into Abraham's vehicle. When investigators searched Thomas's apartment, they reported finding evidence of a violent confrontation, several possible weapons, and a significant amount of biological material later matched to Abraham. Police then spotted Thomas driving Abraham's missing car. During an attempted stop, the driver allegedly reversed into a police vehicle, escaped through a parking area, and abandoned the damaged car after one wheel came off. Authorities say Thomas reached a bus station and traveled more than 400 miles to Dallas, Texas, where he was arrested on October 1st. The online creator, who had once built an audience by being entertaining and controversial, was now at the center of an extraordinary criminal investigation. Thomas was initially accused of second-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and vehicle-related offenses. Because Abraham was older than 65, Louisiana law allowed prosecutors to pursue first-degree murder. A grand jury formally indicted Thomas in January 2025, and he pleaded not guilty. The internet immediately filled the void of information with theories about how the two men knew each other. Investigators have said there is no evidence Thomas was Abraham's client, and earlier allegations involving Abraham were unrelated to Thomas. No verified motive has been released. At the latest confirmed update, Thomas remained jailed without bond. Proceedings had been paused while two doctors assessed whether he was competent to stand trial, leaving the central questions unresolved. I want to start off by quickly saying, never do this stuff. I don't endorse it. And in fact, I discourage you from doing anything like this, ever. In 2019, TikTok users were promised something almost magical, a way to change their eye color using ingredients sitting around the house. The so-called Bright Eye Challenge was linked to creator Greg Lammers and presented like an experiment. Users mixed jelly, hand sanitizer, shaving cream and bleach inside a plastic bag, then pressed it against one eye. Edited videos appeared to show dark irises becoming bright blue. The effect was fake. The danger was not. Bleach can seriously damage the surface of the eye, while alcohol-based sanitizer can cause chemical irritation and burns. Holding those substances against the face increased the chance of them leaking onto the skin or into the eye. Some participants reported irritation after copying the trend, although there are no confirmed reports that anyone permanently lost their sight. However, had things just gone a little more wrong, there's no doubt this could have left people blinded for life. The following year brought another shortcut for changing your eye color. Well, not. Videos using the S5 filter encouraged people to hold a phone flash close to their eye to reveal its true color. Nothing changed. The intense light merely made the iris appear clearer on camera. Users soon posted follow-up clips complaining about pain, blurred vision, and temporary flash blindness. There were also some sneaky creators that had used colored contact lenses or editing tricks, making the result look convincing while viewers copied the dangerous part for real. Both trends followed the same pattern: an impossible promise, a convincing video, and an audience willing to test it before asking whether it was safe. TikTok later removed material connected to the challenges, but only after the tricks had spread. Again, don't try any of this at home. Before Mahek Bukhari became known for one of Britain's most shocking TikTok-related cases, her online life looked carefully polished. Posting as May Be, she built an audience with fashion hauls, beauty-related videos, restaurant visits, and clips featuring her mother, Ansreen. Their relationship became part of the brand. They filmed dance trends, attended events together, and presented themselves less like mother and daughter than best friends sharing the same glamorous social life. By 2021, she had nearly 200,000 TikTok followers and another 50,000 on Instagram. Brand deals, affiliate links, and invitations made social media feel like a genuine career. Mother Ansreen, once largely confined to family life, was drawn into that world too, enjoying parties, attention, and a new sense of personal freedom. Behind that image, Ansreen was hiding a relationship with an 18-year-old man named Saqib Hussain. The pair had met online and continued seeing each other for roughly 3 years. Saqib sent gifts to the family home and met Ansreen in hotels, while her husband and children knew nothing about the affair. When Ansreen eventually tried to end it, Saqib refused to disappear quietly. Messages showed him repeatedly contacting her, threatening to reveal intimate photographs and videos to her husband and son. He also demanded £3,000, which he said represented money he had spent during the relationship. When Mahek discovered what was happening, she became directly involved. She strongly disliked Saqib and told friends that she wanted him dealt with. A late-night meeting was arranged at a Tesco car park in Leicester, supposedly so the money could be returned and the dispute settled. On February 11, 2022, Saqib travelled from Banbury with his friend Hashim Ijazuddin, who had agreed to drive him. Waiting at the car park were Mahek, Ansreen, and several others. Some were wearing masks and at least one had brought a weapon. Saqib immediately sensed danger. Hashim drove away, but 2 cars followed. The pursuit moved on to the A46, where speeds reached around 100 miles per hour. During the chase, Saqib called emergency services from the passenger seat. He told the operator that masked people were following them and trying to force their car from the road. Moments later, the Skoda left the carriageway, struck the central reservation, and split apart before catching fire. Both men's time on this earth ended at the scene. The cars behind them did not stop. Mahek and her mother later claimed they had only wanted to talk and that Hashim had lost control. Their behavior after the crash told a different story. The group exchanged messages about what to say, attempted to conceal who had been present, and lied about travelling to Nottingham rather than Leicester.
The silver car, I don't know which brand it was, model, it's come zooming down. I've kept the second to 3 second rule gap, and there's the blue Leons in front, and I'm at the back. This silver car's come and cut into the middle. So we're basically all 3 cars very close. I braked. So I looked at my mum and I goes, Mum, what is going on? What is wrong with, are they, I don't know if they're drunk. What are they trying to do to this blue car in general? So Mum goes, May, like I said, leave it. You're not involved. You don't know what's going on. You just go straight on and leave it. I goes, okay, that's fine.
The glamorous online partnership of Mahek and Ansreen was now replaced by starkly contrasting images of the pair sitting together in court. In 2023, both were convicted of 2 counts of murder. Mahek received a life sentence with a minimum term of 31 years and 8 months. Appeal judges later reduced that minimum to 26 years and 285 days, finding that insufficient weight had been given to her age and immaturity. The conviction remained untouched. Sometimes it seems like a small taste of fame is all it takes for someone to throw their old life into a burning dumpster. Just a quick one. For some reason, my videos are normally seen by just 1 to 2% of my subscribers. I actually don't know why. Regardless of the reasons, it's making it extremely challenging to keep this show on the road. And I promise I don't like to do this. It makes me feel like Oliver Twist or something. But please do consider becoming a channel member. There are currently 343 of you, and I'm aiming for the crazy goal of 1,000 by the end of 2026. You get things like early access to videos, our behind the scenes podcast, and of course my eternal gratitude. Thank you, and I love you all. Now back to the video. In 2020, 18-year-old Zachary Laam had built a TikTok following by filming himself driving expensive cars through his quiet New Jersey neighborhood. The louder the engines became, the more frustrated his neighbors grew.
What are you gonna do, Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight. Go ahead.
You okay, Karen? Go ahead, get my tag.
Go.
Get my tag, Karen.
My name is not Karen, so get my name straight.
Get my tag, it's okay.
A45MFA. Sir, there's an officer.
All because my car is loud. 3 cop cars.
Instead of calming things down, Latham began recording their complaints and posting them online.
Why are you guys recording when you came out of the house first?
She said you did.
No, I did not say that. You know what? I said you You're 18. Come on. You're 18. Come on. Get out of his face. Get out of his face. No.
Get out of my face.
Get out of his face. Oh, did you hit me? Did you hit me? Wow.
You did a video, right?
Yeah.
One confrontation with Catherine Durham exploded across TikTok, collecting millions of views. Latham leaned into the attention, continued filming the family, and reportedly encouraged the drama as his following grew to around 40,000. Viewers were no longer watching a simple dispute about speeding. They were watching two households become increasingly hostile, with every new encounter carrying the possibility of another viral clip. On May 4th, the feud reached Latham's home. William Timmy Durham Sr., his wife and their 2 sons arrived to confront him after another argument. Latham said he believed he was facing a mob attack and armed himself with a sharp implement and a stun device. His wife recorded as the confrontation moved into the garage. By the time it ended, Durham had been struck several times with the sharp implement, including once in the lung. His time on this earth ended at the scene. Prosecutors argued that Latham had deliberately escalated the feud for social media fame. His defense said the Durham family entered his property and attacked him. In 2023, a jury accepted the self-defense argument and cleared him of every charge. But Latham's legal problems did not end there. After moving to Florida, he began dating a woman who later tried to end the relationship. Prosecutors said Latham followed her, forced her to drive him around, prevented her from escaping, and applied pressure to the neck until she briefly lost consciousness. Weeks later, he allegedly locked her inside his bathroom and attempted to stop her leaving again. Even after his arrest, messages were sent through a third party pressuring her over the case. In July 2026, Latham pleaded guilty to attempted kidnapping, domestic battery by strangulation, witness tampering, and related offences. He received 12 years in prison, followed by lengthy probation. There's a lot to digest here, but do let me know your thoughts on this case.
You see stories like this on the ID channel or any crime channel about people getting catfished, taken away from their families, and end up hurt or unalived. I pray that nothing happens like that. Guys, please join me Tuesday at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. It will be a final farewell and best wishes party. I want everybody to know that I was a good man. I loved her unconditionally. Guys, I'm running out of time. Thank you for listening. I love you guys.
Interstate 75 was shut down in both directions near Paynes Prairie. All traffic was stopped. Helicopters circled overhead. Law enforcement vehicles lined the shoulder for miles. Drivers had no idea why a major interstate between counties had suddenly ground to a halt. What they didn't know yet was that two women had already met their end. They didn't know that the person suspected of doing it was now inside a pickup truck just off the roadway. Nor did they know that this incident began hours earlier on a quiet road in Union County, or that it had escalated so quickly that authorities made the decision that shutting down a major highway was the only way to keep the public safe. At the center of all of this was a domestic situation that had already crossed a point of no return, a situation that unfolded in private and then online, and then finally in full view of multiple law enforcement agencies and the world. What happened before that interstate was closed would only later become clear, and even now, parts of it remain disputed, alleged, but all deeply unsettling. In this video, I will share with you real video evidence that you would not believe if you didn't see it. On the afternoon of February the 3rd, 2026, Union County Sheriff's Office received multiple 911 calls. The calls reported deafening blasts that were coming from the Providence area of Western Union County. The location was Southwest County Road 241, a rural stretch outside Lake Butler, Florida. Deputies were dispatched at approximately 4:30 p.m. When they arrived, they found two adult women at the scene. Both of them were unresponsive. Both had suffered apparent shot wounds. Both were pronounced deceased on location. One of the women was identified as Candice P. Joseph. She was 43 years old and lived in Lake Butler. The second woman was from San Antonio, Texas. She was known online as Angel, and that's how we'll refer to her in this video. Candice, by the way, she had a huge following on TikTok. At the time that all of this happened, she had amassed 675,000 followers. On her account, she talks a lot about star signs, and she also promoted various items with affiliate links. But why were these two women, one from Florida, one from Texas, in a car together at all? Before deputies could secure the area where both women had met their end, the person suspected of pulling the trigger was already gone. The suspect had left the scene before law enforcement had even arrived. He had taken a vehicle and fled to Union County. Within minutes, what began as a local response now became something much larger, because the man that deputies were now looking for, he was believed to be armed and dangerous, and he was already traveling at high speeds. Investigators quickly identified a person of interest. The suspect was named Jason Eric Holton. He was 47 years old, and he lived in Lake Butler, Florida as well.
Now, Candace, if you do see this message, which I'm sure you will, not message, but post, I love you very much. You always have a place right here. Nothing can change that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve peace.
According to investigators, deputies determined that Jason had fled the scene in a four-door 2020 black Ford F-150 pickup truck. Whilst authorities were still on the scene assessing victims and gathering witness information, they were able to make contact with Jason by phone, and that call confirmed what they already feared. Jason was no longer in the area, so a statewide notice was issued almost immediately. The Union County Sheriff's Office contacted the Florida Department of Law Enforcement in order to assist with this urgent investigation. Neighboring agencies were also alerted to be on the lookout for the black Ford F-150. Nobody knew where Jason was heading. All they knew is that he was armed and frantic, and that two people were already lost. Just after 5 p.m., the Alachua County Combined Communications Center received a call from Union County authorities. They were advised that a double homicide had occurred within the previous hour and that the suspect was possibly traveling through their county. Multiple agencies now began coordinating in real time. Deputies from Alachua County Sheriff's Office, along with officers from High Springs Police Department and the Alachua Police Department, were now using resources to track the vehicle. This combined information indicated that the vehicle had moved through High Springs and the town of Alachua, and then shortly after, it was believed to have entered Interstate 75. Now the situation had changed. What began on a rural county road was now heading towards one of the busiest roads in the region. At approximately 5:26 p.m., a deputy spotted the Ford F-150. The truck was now traveling southbound on Interstate 75 near mile marker 386. The deputy followed at a distance and was relaying in real time critical information to dispatch. Additional units moved into position. At approximately 5:30 p.m., law enforcement then attempted to conduct a traffic stop. Jason, though, he didn't pull over. Instead, he accelerated and continued southbound at a high rate of speed. Given the nature of the incident in Union County and the danger that was now posed to the public, troopers made a decision. A Florida Highway Patrol trooper executed a precision immobilization technique, or pit maneuver. The maneuver forced the truck to come to a rest on the west shoulder of I-75. With the vehicle now stopped, authorities immediately shifted to containment. The road was shut in both directions. With so much damage already done, the priority now was saving more lives and preventing civilian injuries. Law enforcement issued repeated commands for the driver to exit the vehicle. However, there was no response. Minutes passed, and specialized units were activated. The SWAT team now arrived. The aviation unit took to the air. The Gainesville Police Department drone unit was deployed as well. The negotiations response team was brought in. Despite repeated attempts to make contact with Jason, he remained silent. At this point, officers could not assume anything. They didn't know if Jason was injured. They didn't know if he was preparing to engage, just lying in wait. All they knew is that he was not responding, and the situation was not over. After an extended period with no response, law enforcement now adjusted their approach. Jason by now had ignored multiple commands, and still the potential risk to responding officers remained unknown. Using specialized equipment and tactics, members of the SWAT team now approached the truck. They moved in carefully. They assumed nothing. When they reached the vehicle, they made a discovery that brought the standoff to an end. Jason Eric Holton, he was inside the truck. He was the only occupant, but he was also unresponsive. Investigators determined that Jason had met his end by his own hand in that vehicle. No rounds were discharged by officers. No additional suspects were involved.
So it's important to remember that the priority of innocent citizens must always remain at the top of the list. And so that decision to immediately shut down a major artery, a major roadway in between counties, within our own county, I commend those deputies and those troopers for making that decision. That is truly what kept our public safe.
I-75 was closed in both directions from Williston Road to Micanopy as a precaution, diverting drivers off the interstate while tactical teams and aviation units responded. Authorities say the decision allowed deputies and troopers to secure the area and prevent any potential harm to drivers or nearby communities.
Interstate 75 remained closed as investigators secured the scene. Crime scene units documented the vehicle and the surrounding area, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, they assumed responsibility for investigating what had happened to Jason and to the two women in Union County. So, at this point, the sequence of events was clear, but what was not yet clear was what had happened before any of this began. But there was a lot to be brought to light, because in the days leading up to February the 3rd, Jason Holton had been speaking openly and publicly, and what he said would soon gain much more weight from beyond the grave. In the days before the events of this video, Jason Holton posted multiple videos to TikTok. In those videos, he identified himself as Hubby from Candace Joseph's live streams. And remember, Candace had over 600,000 followers on TikTok, so quite a lot of people would have known who he was. I was going to tell you what he said in those videos, But honestly, showing you would be so much better.
So what's up, everybody? A lot of you guys know me as Hubby from Candace PJ 82's Live. We were together for 13 years. We officially called it quits 2 days ago. And 2 days later, she's officially engaged already again to a female named Angel. So, with that being said, obviously there was an affair. But I'm going to invite you guys to a live that's going to be taking place this Tuesday at 8 o'clock a.m. I'm going to be streaming the live event. Candace and her newfound fling, who, by the way, she has never seen before, but she is moving to San Antonio, Texas to be with this woman. So I'm going to send her or give her a going away party when they come to get her things. I'm going to have a cake. I'm going to have refreshments. I'm going to have a banner put up that says farewell to give her a good send-off. And it will be live. I want everyone to see that I am not the person that she has talked about in her previous live. She spent 2 hours bashing me, telling everybody I'm this horrible person. Anybody that knows me knows that I am not that person. She is playing the victim to try to portray herself as innocent because she done wrong. She stated also in her live that her relationship with Angel has been officially over a month now. So obviously the affair was happening and I was not aware of that. Again, guys, you will see this live Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm going to give her farewell party and let her go live her life after throwing away 13 wonderful years for a fling. Some of you guys may not agree with this, but some of you will. Some of you know only one side of the story. Some of you are going to learn the truth. I'm not here to bash her by any means. I will not do that. I will always have love for her and I want her to have happiness, find peace, and to be safe. You see stories like this on the ID channel or any crime channel about people getting catfished, taken away from their families, and end up hurt or unalived. I pray that nothing happens like that for her safety and for our son Aiden. San Antonio, Texas is 18 hours away from my state of Florida where we currently reside. But she is willing to pick up and move on with someone she's doesn't really know. That's strange. Guys, please join me Tuesday at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. I will set a reminder and I will set the story up for that time so you guys can follow along. Again, it will be a final farewell and best wishes party. Thank you guys for listening. I know this video was long. Have a great night.
Now, I will add that what Jason's saying are all allegations. This information hasn't been independently verified. I'm presenting these videos for context only. Jason says that Candace has been involved in an online affair. He claimed that the relationship started through TikTok, and then it later moved to private messaging platforms. He also alleged that Candice had gone live on TikTok for approximately 2 hours, and during that live stream he claimed that she spoke negatively about him. He alleged that she was portraying him as a bad man. Jason stated that shortly after that live stream, Candice then changed her TikTok bio. He claimed that it went from describing her as happily married to him to then describing herself as happily engaged. Jason alleged that Candice had become engaged to another woman. He identified that woman as Angel.
Wait. Guys, you've got to know the truth. You deserve it. Let me tell you about myself. My name is Jason Holton, formerly known as Hubby in Candice PJ 82's lives and on her page. Now, those of you who know me, hello. Those of you who don't, there's been a lot of things going on. I have been bashed. I have been lied about. I have been degraded and put down for the past couple of weeks. Now, Candice, if you do see this message, which I'm sure you will, not message, but post, I love you very much. You always have a place right here. Nothing can change that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve peace. I want that for you. I absolutely do. Whether the happiness or peace was with me or with anybody else, we all deserve to be happy. Guys, I'm running out of time. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. Like and follow.
Jason also spoke about his own mental health. He stated that in January of 2026, he actually made an attempt on himself. He said he was hospitalized for approximately 9 days. He alleged that Candice did not visit him during that time, and he also says that Candice and the other woman would be coming to his house to retrieve her belongings. He stated that this would happen on the morning of February the 3rd. He also announced plans to live stream a farewell event, but that live stream never occurred. By the time Jason Holton's videos began circulating more widely, the outcome was already known. Candice and Angel were gone, and he himself was no longer alive to be questioned. Because of that, investigators have been careful about what they have confirmed publicly. Jason's claims about Candice's live stream, I've tried to verify those myself, but frustratingly on TikTok, once a live stream has been carried out, unless the account owner posts it within 30 days, it appears to just be gone forever. Let's take a look at the second woman in this situation. She has now been named by authorities as Marissa Jimenez. Friends and family knew her as Angel. She was 42 years old, and she lived in San Antonio, Texas. At the time that she met her end, Angel was indeed married to another woman. She was also a step-parent figure to her wife's young daughter. According to her spouse, Angel was deeply involved in family life, and she was referred to as Mama A by the child. Angel had previously served in the military, and her wife stated that she had struggled with health issues after her service. So she was a vet, and we know that that can come with some knock-on effects. Angel's wife shared multiple public posts describing her as loving, as loyal, and as protective of those around her. She described Angel as someone who tried to save people, even when it came at a personal cost. However, those same posts also included allegations. Angel's wife stated that Angel had been involved in a relationship with Candice Joseph. She alleged that Angel had been chasing unicorns, a phrase she used to describe pursuing special connections outside of the marriage. She further alleged that this extramarital pursuit did play a role in placing Angel at the Lake Butler home on the day of the shooting. All of these statements were made after the incident. Law enforcement has not publicly confirmed the nature of the relationship between Angel and Candice, but it seems to be all but confirmed by both spouses that the relationship was an affair. It is confirmed that Angel travelled from Texas to Florida in order to help Candice move out of the home that she shared with Jason Holton. We can imagine that Angel, being a vet, meant that Candice felt safe and secure in doing this. However, the combined decisions, along with Jason's state of mind, would have terrible consequences. Police have described this incident as DV related, but DV cases don't just exist in a vacuum. It seems that there have been a lot bubbling under the surface, and it had been happening for quite some time. Altogether, this complex emotional situation has meant that 3 people are no longer with us. Angel's stepdaughter no longer has her, nor does Candice's son. Thank you so much for watching. I'm uploading daily true crime and dark content here on this channel. So make sure that you're subscribed, hit like on the video, and also drop a comment so you get shown more of my stuff. Please do be careful out there, and I'll see you tomorrow.